You guys like mysteries? Yeah, I kind of like mysteries too. In fact, I've always liked mysteries. Growing up, I'd watch the Hardy Boys on TV, read Encyclopedia Brown books cover to cover, and I absolutely loved playing the board game Clue. And when I say playing the board game Clue, I mean sitting on the floor of my bedroom for hours, staring at the Miss Scarlet card, wondering what those strange feelings were in my pants. Miss Scarlet, what was her story? More importantly, when will she kill again? I still enjoy a good mystery to this day, especially when it comes to the women that I date. But when I started online dating a few years ago, I quickly discovered that all the excitement and intrigue that accompanies newfound romance had all but disappeared from dating. I mean, seriously, ladies, do I really need to know your Myers-Briggs score before we go on a first date? I mean, call me old-fashioned, but please, leave a little something to the imagination. I had just about given up on the whole online dating thing when I stumbled across her profile. Her username was Naomi, and her poorly written, partially incomplete profile intrigued me. And her profile photo, it was quite possibly one of the worst profile photos I've ever seen in my life. And in a sea of selfies at Machu Picchu and carefully manicured paddleboard yoga shots, it really stood out. I mean, from its angle and composition, it looked like it had been taken by a small dog. And the expression on her face radiated all the joy and puzzlement of someone who was thinking, wow, I didn't know your dog could take pictures. There was something different about her, and I immediately fired off a message. And much to my surprise, she wrote me back. A brief correspondence ensued, and we agreed to meet for a first date. Hello, are you Pierce? I am Naomi. She had the face of a model, the body of a dancer, and this strange accent that I just couldn't place. And as we spent the evening together, I interrogated her like she was a prime suspect in a murder mystery. But she proved to be a worthy adversary and was woefully short on details. Where did you grow up, Naomi? Please don't ask me about my childhood. Naomi, are you close with your parents? Never mention my parents. Naomi, how long have you lived in D.C.? You mean trapped in D.C. As our evening came to an end, I still knew practically nothing about this mystery woman, except these three things that I had uncovered. She lived in the condo building directly across the street from where I lived. She had no job, no career, or discernible means of income. And she was half Japanese and half German. English was not her first language. I didn't know much about her, but I did know this. I liked her. And she made me feel like I felt when I looked at that Miss Scarlet card back in the day. Much to my surprise, Naomi was eager to plan our next date. Tonight, we should wait until nightfall and ride our bikes into Rock Creek Park. We can find a clearing, build a fire, and make s'mores. Now, truthfully, I am absolutely terrified of riding a bicycle in the city, day or night. But in that evening, there I was, descending into a pitch-black Rock Creek Park. No helmet on my head, no lights on my bike, in pursuit of this mystery woman that I knew nothing about. And that night, I'm pleased to say, I enjoyed the most delicious s'mores I've ever tasted. I knew things were getting serious when she invited me over to her place. "I want you to taste my puttanesca," she said. Now, I had no idea what a puttanesca was, but if someone invites you to their house to taste their puttanesca, you say yes. But nothing prepared me for what I saw when I set foot through her condo door. To the left was a rather Spartan bedroom with nothing but a futon in the middle of the floor. Directly across me was the balcony, which is littered with the carcasses of dead houseplants. And her living room, let's just say it reminded me of an art gallery from a bad 1980s film. From the terrible paintings that hung on the walls to the large sculptures that were haphazardly placed throughout the room. This is a rather interesting decorating choice, I thought to myself. As we finished our puttanesca dinner, it's pasta, by the way, a gleeful Naomi perked up. She said, "I want to tell you a secret. I am starting my own business and you will never guess what it is. I am going to sell sex toys to wealthy women. Would you like to see them?" She got up, she ran to that Spartan bedroom of hers, emerging with a glass object that could be described as a toilet plunger handle crossed with a chandelier. She said, "This is our signature model. They will come in crushed velvet boxes. Rich women will love these." As I lay awake that night on the world's most uncomfortable futon, Naomi slept soundly next to me. Who was this mysterious woman? I thought. I was falling hard for her, and I wanted more. Well, I got more when Naomi presented me with an interesting proposition. "Would you like to be my date to a wedding?" Naturally, I said yes. She said, "Wunderbar. It's in 2 weeks, and it's in France." "You need to make all the arrangements, okay?" I bought the plane tickets, booked the hotel room, and started counting down the days to the wedding in France. 2 days before we were set to depart, Naomi approached me. "Piers, there are 2 things I need to tell you. I will need to get high as soon as we get to Paris, so I will be bringing drugs with me. Also, when you return, I will be staying in Europe. I have decided to move to Berlin." This was insanity. Clearly this was some sort of joke, or perhaps it was a test of my loyalty and affection. If I was going to solve the mystery that was Naomi, I was going to have to stick with the original plan. I was going to France. Naomi breezed through airport security, didn't say a word on our flight, and smiled as she made her way through customs at Charles de Gaulle Airport. And by the time I got through customs, I was exhausted and a nervous wreck. We made our way into the city, found our hotel, checked into our hotel room, and without missing a beat, Naomi made a beeline straight for the bathroom, locking the door behind her with a click. "I'm going to take a bath now," she said. Naomi pretty much took a bath, so to speak, the entire time we were in France. Truthfully, I don't remember very much about that wedding. I do know this much. When that long weekend came to a close, I flew back to the States. Naomi stayed in Europe without so much as a goodbye. I returned to DC bewildered and confused, wondered what the clues were that I had missed. I sat on my front porch gazing longingly at her condo building across the street. A few days later, I noticed a series of delivery vans stopping in front of her building. Later that night, I heard a news report about a series of thefts at art galleries across Europe. I got up, I ran to my computer, and I pulled up Naomi's still active online dating profile, and I skimmed it for some clues, and I got down to that part in every online dating profile, the "you should message me if" part. I read it, and then I read it again out loud. You should message me if you're a fan of modern art, if you like to travel, and if you're looking for a partner in crime to spend the rest of your life with. Maybe Naomi wasn't such a mystery after all. Thanks, everybody.